Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the TopHatMate podcast. Today's episode is on conspiracy theories. Now, this episode, we don't have any specific content to be showing you, just a talking episode. Are just going to explore the ideas and contradictory of famous conspiracy theories, specifically historical conspiracy theories, such as the moon landing and those type of stuff. Um, So we're just gonna explore what they have to say, and then why we say why are they wrong and why you should not believe in them. So those I already mentioned it. Let's just begin with the most famous historical or history conspiracy theory. It's probably the moon landing was fake. Now there's plenty of scientific reasons and visual, audio, editing reasons why it's fake, but I'm gonna specifically take it from the historical sense. Now, let's say the conspiracy theories hypothetically says, or let's say hypothetically, the conspiracy theory was right. The conspiracy theory says that the U.S. faked the moon landing during the Cold War to appear to win the space race over the Soviet Union, which was its main competitor. So the U.S. faked it by most likely doing a Hollywood type of shoot with Stanley Kubrick because he made 2001 Space Odyssey a year earlier before the moon landing. So they decided to do that. Um, Now, the big fault or the big error that this conspiracy theory has to say was, first of all, mostly that you couldn't fake the moon landing because there was a lot of audio and visual problems at the time. Cameras and technology was not as advanced as it is today. It's not like you could just, make a CGI of the moon. CGI didn't exist back then. That's wrong. But also, it only says that the U.S. faked the moon landing or faked really its whole moon program because it wasn't just the U.S. just landed people on the moon in 1969. He had a whole program before that. I mean, a year earlier, the first astronauts flew around the moon, and the Apollo program started a couple years earlier. They also had plenty of other programs like the Gemini program. So you can't just say that, oh, the moon landing was fake. Like, that's only a vacuum. That's not how history works. History works not just a vacuum, it's a bunch of connecting pieces. So what you have to say is you have to connect all the pieces, say the whole program, or at least a big portion of the program was faked, which would take a lot of money. So it's not just the moon landing was faked. It's basically NASA was faking the whole thing since its inception um, during the JFK presidency. Sorry. So you have to say that the whole thing was fake, not just the moon landing. That's how history works, not just in a vacuum. And then you have to say the moon landing was fake. Would you also say, for the people who believe in this, would you also say that the Soviet Union was faking its space program? Because there's also plenty of other achievements in the space race done by the Soviet Union. The first spacewalk, the first man in space, and there's also video and audio recordings of these stuff. So was that fake? Did anyone has ever went to space, or was just the moon? Is space even real? So it's not just the moon landing is fake; it's the entire American space missions are fake. Entire basic the NASA, which is a hoax. It's not just the American space missions that NASA was fake. Also, the Soviet Union ones were also fake because it seems a bit silly. It's saying, "Oh, just America faked it, but the Soviet Union did not." The whole space race was literally just a fabrication from both um from both powers during the Cold War. It was just a fabrication. That's what the conclusion the moon landing was faked leads to. That would just lead, oh well, the whole space race was faked. Or maybe it wasn't faked, and you have to explain which parts were real, which part wasn't. So you have to take sufficient enough evidence to say, let's say the Sputnik mission was real, but the Yuri Gagarin was not real. So, and you have to give sufficient enough evidence to prove that that is the case. So that what it leads to. Okay? And she following. You see this with a lot of historical conspiracy theories that they just take stuff in a vacuum. They just say this was fake, this not go, wrong person, JFK, this that this Abraham Lincoln. They just say stuff, but they don't really see the proper context. Because if you accept as one of these conspiracy theories to be the truth, then you gotta accept all the consequences from that conspiracy. You can't just say, I don't know, Hitler didn't die during the bunker. Like, oh well, that's true, but okay, then there's other parts of that. How did he make it out? Who let him escape? Where did he went? How what did he do with his life? Did he got ever into politics or he stay silent? You have to figure out this stuff, or you have to just give us some type of explanation for it. If you just believe in this vacuum, if this is certain historical fact that you hear and you just switch it around. Because that's why the whole thing of alternate history exists. Because alternate history, unlike conspiracy theories, takes one part and goes with it. And they say, oh well, what if, you know, um, the Europeans never landed in North America and South America? They don't just say that and then like hold it. No, they say how would that affect history and how would that affect humanity. While conspiracy theories, first of all, people believe them. So it's not just alternate history, unless people are weird. But they just take just a historical fact and they just switched it and then pretend that it's the exact same world. If you just moved a very important part of history, of course, it's not going to be the exact same world. You mentioned the Hitler one. Um, Another famous historical or uh, religious in nature, like did Muhammad break the moon in half? I don't really want to get into those. Seems like another topic for another day. That remain my main problem with conspiracy theories. First of all, they're fake with a lot of stuff, and they just mostly take a historical fact, switch it around, and pretend like the whole world will be the exact same. So that will be it for today's episode. Um, Sorry for being a bit of a shorter one, but uh, you enjoy this video. More podcast episodes coming soon. Might do a part two to this podcast. I'm not sure, but yeah. Have a good day, everyone.